Hey guys, here outside of the legendary Dusty Groove Records. I just finished digging here. I took a little bit of video inside. Found some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, hopefully I'll be making a video soon to show you guys what I got. Cheers. doing, guys? Hey guys, how you doing? It's Alex coming at you once again from Southern California. Happy New Year to everyone. Cheers with some cheap California wine. So I think I mentioned in my last video I was going to try to go to the Dusty Groove while I was on vacation visiting family in Chicago over the holidays. I was able to make the trip. Dusty Groove, of course, a fantastic independent record store in the near west side of Chicago. So I did pick up some pretty cool stuff there. So I'll get to those. Before I do that, I just wanted to acknowledge the death of the great multi-instrumentalist from the Art Ensemble of Chicago, Joseph Jarman, who passed away, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago. So I just wanted to quickly show some of my favorite Art Ensemble records. I just pulled these out and I'll be listening to these over the weekend. Just a fantastic multi-instrumentalist. I think I showed this one in my very first VC video, actually. There's a nice reissue. Spent most of his life in Chicago. I think originally from down south in Arkansas. This is one of my favorite ones. I was watching an old David Belson record where he was recommending this one. I had to pull it a couple of weeks ago. One of my favorite ones. A lot of energy on this one. Of course, much I think has been said in the VC about this record. Fantastic stuff from the Art Ensemble. This one's on ECM. What's he playing on this one? Yeah, so just give you he's playing the sopranino, soprano, alto, tenor, saxophones, and baritone and bass saxophones, bass clarinet, the bassoon, the piccolo, the flute, the alto flute, the conch shell, the vibra harps, the celeste, the gongs, the congas, the whistle. Just an unbelievable talent. The guy could pretty much play it all. He, along with Roscoe Mitchell, really the heart and soul of the Art Ensemble of Chicago. Here's another one on ECM. Great guys. And then I think I showed this one not too long ago. Fantastic one with another great Chicagoan, Anthony Braxton, who I think turned 75, maybe this year or next year. Anthony Braxton's still around, but yeah, a lot of these great players are not going to be around for much longer. So yeah, had a great dig at Dusty Groove. Start off with a couple of reissues, kind of tying in with a lot of the French progressive music that I've been showing over the last couple of months. This is a camisole with Lard Free. This is on the Souffle Continu label. So camisole is basically a collective that formed in the 1970s. Basically like a commune. kind of reminds you of like a Amandul or something like that, where there were a lot of people just kind of getting together, creating music and art, and eventually, it was about 8 players or so that kind of were the core of the band. They're in the same milieu as a lot of the bands that I've been showing recently, like Large Free and Etran Fou. Um, and except these guys were particularly influenced Camisole by the American free jazz players that were in Paris at the time. So their ethos is very much about free improv. They really and the reason these recordings actually they never record anything officially, Camisole. So this is a live recording that they did. They were in a festival with Large Free, and they decided to play together and collaborate. So this is fantastic. Sound, it's a live recording. It's not an amazing sound quality, but and this features Gilbert Artman from Large Free on drums, vibraphone, organ, and I believe the leader of Camisole is Jacques Dupedy. And the other one that I got on the same label was this one here. This one is just Camisole. So this is sort of a compilation of studio and live recordings that they compiled that I don't think have ever been released before. And this one comes with a really cool booklet here showing some of the members here. Like I said, I think there are about 8 core members. This is Jean-Luc Dupetit, the leader here. So again, these are some live recordings and some studio sessions that they kind of compiled. Fantastic stuff. I mean, really, if you're interested in experimental music, French experimental music, if you like Helden, Large Free, any of the bands that I've been showing recently, and free jazz, because like I said, these guys are very much about free improv, but they also bring in a lot of electronics into the mix. So a lot of these are a little bit disjointed. They're definitely improvisational. Not a whole lot of structure here, but I can't get enough of this stuff. Really awesome. So those were 2 reissues that I picked up at Dusty Groove. The rest are older releases. The first one being this one on Blue Thumb from Luis Gasca. Luis, American born, from what I understand. He played with Janis Joplin, Carlos Santana, who's actually featured on this record as well. There's that cool Blue Thumb label. And here's the back cover, pretty cool. I guess the first pressings came with a sticker inside of the record, and so then you could place this sticker wherever you wanted, I guess, on the record. So this features Luis Gasca. He's a trumpet player. He plays the flugelhorn on this one as well. The great Joe Henderson on tenor here, Santana and Neil Sean on guitar, and then we got notably Lenny White on drums, Stanley Clark on bass, those are the names that I recognize here. Victor Pantoja Sounds familiar on congas. Um, yeah, this is fantastic and very cheap to find. For whatever reason, this is really cheap and it's really fantastic. Um, Latin fusion jazz. Yeah, definitely pick this up if you see this. The next one I've never heard of here. It's called Mamba Percussions. It caught my eye, especially because it's on this French label called Pierre Verani. Now, Pierre Verani apparently is a guy that was he basically founded the label, and it's basically like a French audiophile label from the early to mid 80s. So this is pretty much meant to be like an audiophile, it's incredibly well recorded, and it features a French percussionist here who doesn't seem like he did a whole lot, after this. Really cool gatefold here that has a picture of all the different African percussion instruments that are in the record. The French percussionist being Jean-Claude Sarinec, was born in 1946, and then there's a nice description of all the different Brazilian and African percussion instruments that are used here. So yeah, really interesting. I mean, this is really cheap. This was like $14. Original French pressing, and like really good condition. And like I said, because it is sort of an audiophile recording, the sound quality is absolutely fantastic. Really neat pickup. And the last record I picked up at that shop is right here. It's a bit of a grail. I love Don Cherry. He's right here. Thank you, Diana. Don Cherry's a Relativity Suite, recorded in 1973 on the non-profit label Jazz Composers Orchestra Association, JCOA label. This features a quintet of strings led by the great violinist Leroy Jenkins. It features Carlos Ward on alto sax. It features Frank Lowe on the tenor. This is what's playing right now. I believe this is side 2, and Carla Bley on piano, Ed Blackwell on drums. So this is Carla Bley's solo right here. It's fantastic. Everything Don Cherry is just unimpeachable in my opinion, and early mid 70s Don Cherry is perfection. This one, yeah, definitely interesting with the larger ensemble. There's some the first half, there's some sort of primal African chanting throughout. This one, as you can hear, it's got some percussion and larger ensemble orchestral arrangements. So yeah, really happy to find an original. I think I used to have a reissue years ago, but yeah, not one you see real often. So real happy to pick that one up. Yeah, I think my next video will be kind of a tribute to Chris Cole, John Coltrane 68. Just received that guy in the mail, if you guys recognize that. Kind of one of the quintessential Chris Cole records. So yeah, look forward to putting that together, and hope everybody's well, and have a great 2019, everyone.